Today, I want to talk about Christians and a little bit of intellectual dishonesty I like to call the double standard. Um, when it comes to Christians, they always harp against, pride and vanity and, they always harp against murder and rape and pillaging or violence of any kind. But it's okay for them to do it as long as it's in the name of their God. You know, now that's a very intellectually dishonest stance to take. You know, it's not like they're human beings and they're logical and smart to a degree, but when it comes to their Bible, they are absolute fucking morons. I came across a verse in the Bible, Luke 19, 26 through 28, where Jesus tells his followers that, anyone who doesn't want me as their king, go out and find them, bring them to me, and kill them before me, or some shit like that. I was thinking, that sounds like a radical fundamentalist to me. This great and moral teacher that you people purport to follow is no more than Muhammad in a different dress of sorts. You Muhammad the warlord, the marauding child molester, Muhammad. You know, um, Jesus uh, the Hitler-like savage, um, who I don't believe killed anybody in the Bible himself. He just ordered the killings. And then the Catholic Church, and the Christians will talk about, oh, well, atheists are responsible for most of the problems on the planet. No, it's not atheists. You don't want to even consider the Spanish Inquisition as being something that came from Christianity, but it is absolutely something that came from Christianity. The witch burnings of Salem came from Christianity. Uh, you know, George Bush turned this last war into a crusade almost. Christians always, oh, let's kill them. Oh, as long as they ain't Christian. Well, let's go a little deeper than that. As long as they ain't Christian and they ain't part of our church, let's kill them. Because they're prophesying false prophecies. But it's okay for you to do it. It's okay. It's just fine. And out of it's funny too. 613 laws. You choose 10 of them. The 10 least um, moving of all the laws in your Bible. Some of them are really fucking silly too. I heard one earlier. Thou shalt not make clothes mixed of cotton and wool. What kind of fucking commandment is that? You guys follow this crazy fucking these doctrines, these psychotic doctrines, and you think that because your God is just and divine and infallible, that you can act just and divine and infallible. When it turns out that your God is a smithering moron, an idiot, just like a sniveling coward of a God. You say that your God exists, yet he's too much of a coward to prove his existence. And instead, he relies on assholes like you to talk shit about it and act like words are proof of truth. But, they wouldn't be accepted in a court of law if you were trying to prove God guilty of not existing or of existing. You would just talk about it. And they'd be like, well, where's your proof? Where's Exhibit A? Well, I don't need Exhibit A. It says it right here in the Bible. God damn, you guys are fucking retards. Jesus Christ. And you talk about how we're so vitrolic towards you, but you won't listen. No matter how much we point out to you that your religion is based on all these intellectual fallacies, and we point out to you that morals don't come from religion. They come from social climate, the social climatic attitude. Um, and that's a, it's an absolute truth, man, that you guys are assholes. you um, I really, like I said in an earlier video, I don't like having to even talk like this to people. In public I don't. But here I'm at home and I'm in front of my computer and I can do this on YouTube because people don't seem to care. In fact, a lot more people are starting to enjoy listening to you guys get torn apart and all these, different debates and lectures and whatever. Intellectual dishonesty is what's destroying your religion, which is a good thing. I don't think we need religion anymore. I think, religion did its part, um, I guess, sort of subjugating the human species. I'm surprised we even lasted this long. The Dark Ages would have continued going had it not been for like people like Copernicus and Galileo and just to name a few. If we didn't have like people who went against the grain, so to speak, you would still be in power and we would still not have power. We wouldn't have electricity, we wouldn't have computers, we wouldn't have anything but what you people were pushing on us. In fact, uh, the aristocracies of the past were the only people, the nobility of the past were the only people that were allowed to read. Slaves were not allowed to read. Unless their masters let them read or gave them a basic education with somewhat of an understanding of the words on the book. But what they did was they gave them biblical education and they used the indoctrination in order to take advantage of the greater populace that they controlled. Now the Christians of late have been trying the same shit in America, trying to say that our laws are based on biblical canon and trying, when in the Constitution it clearly says a separation of church and state. There will be no test of religion in order to get a seat in Congress or whatever the hell the laws say in the Constitution. But that's basically the gist of it. Now, you still want to go against the facts, and so you start attacking other, positions, and you go after people's credibility when they're actually more credible than you are. You attack them, saying, "Oh well, science and blah 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 is you know, is a device of the atheists." And you have some scientifically minded Christians. The only problem with them is that they also feel entitled to other people's human rights. Uh, Marijuana is illegal mostly because of Christians who haven't smoked it. And one of another problem I see with this is that you have a minority now as far as the evangelicals go, and the evangelicals and the fundamentalists are the worst of the bunch. You um, they're starting to lose control of the White House, which is a good thing. We don't need them mincing their shit with our laws, like they have been doing, putting God on money and then pretending like it's been there the whole time. Putting God, injecting God into the Pledge of Allegiance, pretending it's been there the whole time, but it hasn't. And you can't be intellectually honest enough with yourself or others to admit that you're fucking wrong. I think one of your problems is that you're unwilling to change. Unwilling, absolutely unwilling to change. No matter what, we say to you, you believe that you're being proactive and you're protecting your way of life, but all you're doing is ruining everybody else's quality of life. We don't want to hear your shit anymore. Nobody wants to hear your shit anymore. Not even other Christians want to hear your shit anymore. Most of them will, the moderate Christians anyway, the slightly moderate Christians, they will look at you and say, you're fucking crazy. If one of the people of your own flock think you're fucking crazy, it's probably a good time to start analyzing yourself or being critical of what you think you fucking know. And I've said it before, you don't know fucking shit. And we can actually scientifically prove that using psychological techniques, which have been proven time and again for the last 100 or so years. You know, archetypes. That's not real. It comes from your mind. You know, that started with Freud, and then Jung expounded on it and said our archetypes were part of your condition. You know, you were grown when you grew up. Your condition was under the sway of the people that you were in company with growing up, like your parents, your friends. They all have an effect on your characteristics as an individual. Now, you join these big groups of people, and I can understand the feeling of elation being accepted into a larger group of people, you know, but that doesn't make it real, man. All that makes is that you've been accepted. That's all that means. You've been accepted by a larger group of people, and you feel good about it. That doesn't mean you have to drag more motherfuckers into it, you know, and especially children who don't know any fucking better. So I guess that's pretty much going over everything that I've said over the last couple of months, um, and kind of expounding on my feelings towards it anyway. You know how I feel about your brain poison. You know, this disgusting intellect stealing virus that you people have been able to print into books. Not just the good book, as you call the Bible. It's not really that good. Um, you print out books making money off of them, by the way. Like, uh, you know, you buy books by Kent Hovind. They actually have his name on it. So who do you think's getting the paychecks for that? Kent Hovind. Not anymore, now that he's in prison for embezzling or whatever the hell it is he did, tax evasion. Um, Ken Ham wrote a book, I believe. You have all these fucking assholes, which who I like to call the prophets of stupidity. I will name a few of them up. I've got them written down right here. We've got Ray Comfort, prophet of stupidity, and one of the dumbest motherfuckers I have ever heard talk. You know, talking about how bananas were invented by man. Not true at all. You know, they were probably made better by man tinkering with soil, but we did not invent bananas. That is a fucking retarded ass goddamn statement if I've ever heard one. You know, Kirk Cameron, him and Ray Comfort, good buddies. Kirk Cameron starred in that stupid Left Behind series, and even said something as disgusting as, and I'll quote him, said, Christianity has a way of circumventing another person's intellect. You don't want people to have a fucking intellect, do you? You want them to think like you think, so that you have more ignorant fucking tax monkeys paying into your fucking goddamn right-wing Republican Party. You know, have you noticed that the Republican Party always claims to be religious? You know, George Bush claimed to be an evangelical, got 36% of the vote, and I've mentioned that in my videos before. Mitt Romney did the same fucking thing. And do we want to live in a theocracy? Fuck no, but you do. You want us to. You want us to live the way that you think we should live, instead of having the free will that you attest that God gave us. You know, if that was fucking free will, there wouldn't be a goddamn ultimatum. You better believe in me or die, motherfucker. They're case in point, whatever. And then you have John Pendleton. I don't know, he's that chemist who got a PhD in chemistry, but that does not qualify him as a paleontologist. It does not qualify him as evolutionary researcher at all, in fact. You know, unless he was taking organic chemistry, which would be a little bit more geared toward, evolution anyway. Microbiology, things like that. Or, you need evolution for those. And then you have this guy, John Pendleton. Oh, well, evolution doesn't exist because blah, blah, blah. It says right here in the Bible. But like I said in one of my last episodes, the Bible does not mention evolution once. It doesn't say that science is the devil. Never says that. In fact, the word science is never even used in the Bible. So Shut the fuck up already about that. Okay, then I keep going. You got Ken Ham, the ignorant asshole, the Mormon shit. Uh, Mike Riddle, another one. He was going through the book written by Charles Darwin, The Origin of Life. And in that book, Charles Darwin raises some questions. And the very next paragraph, he addresses those questions. But Mike Riddle stops before that point. He stops before the next paragraph. He talks about the doubts that Darwin had voiced, or at least written about, in his opening statements. And then in the very next paragraph, he says, well, those doubts and stuff are bullshit, whatever. I could pull it up and read it to you, but I'm too lazy right now. And then there's Pandas and People. His name is Charles Thaxton, by the way, the guy who wrote the book. Is another proponent of intellectual, intelligent design. But that's, the thing is that there absolutely could be an intelligent designer, but it has nothing to do with the physical world that we live in. It has nothing to do with the fossil record. The fossil record doesn't have any humans in it before 200,000 years ago. So whatever you have to say about that is utter bullshit as well. Let me see. Stephen Meyer and Michael Behe, the irreducible complexity people. Those guys are fucking assholes. Don't listen to those people. And then there's specified complexity, and that came from William Dembski. And I could go on and on and on. William Paley. Now that was an interesting character I ran across the other day. William Paley was one of the first people to actually start talking against evolution, and doing the whole intelligent design thing. Now I can't remember the lady's name. There's a woman that said that it started in the 1980s, but it didn't really start in the 1980s. It has origins that go well beyond that, into the 1700s, even before that. Anytime there was a revolution in scientific fields, the Christians were there to try to tear it down. Always there to try to tear it down, because the Christians always believe that they are right and that their word, coming from babbling savages, by the way, who didn't have any kind of understanding or apprehension of scientific method, you're going to listen to these fucking assholes instead of just following the progression of thought. You just lock your mind into this ancient way of thinking, and it's bullshit. We don't need it anymore. Get your fucking shit together. Get your goddamn nose out of that fucking ancient book of riddles and fucking, mystical chants and shit, and fucking get your goddamn act together. Otherwise you're going to be left behind by society. You can do that. You can stay back in the dark ages if you want to, but if that's the way you want to live, if you want to sit there and say that science has done nothing for man, then get the fuck off the computer. Leave the computer alone. Get off of YouTube. Get out of the public light. Stop using cell phones. Don't fucking get vaccinations when you need them. Don't go to the hospital when you need help. Just die out already. I'm not going to say that, because as an atheist, I have a moral stance that's probably a lot better than yours. I would never go out and physically harm you. I would never physically raise a hand to a Christian just because he doesn't think the same way that I think. I might debate him. Now, on the other hand, the Christian might start throwing rocks at me or fucking kicking me or trying to shoot me and shit. That's the way that the fundamentalist radicals go. And you're no different from the Islamic motherfuckers that you talk shit about. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you for watching if you did. Comments, questions, likes, dislikes, whatever. Have a beautiful day.